now available in paperback and e-readers. Isis, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess. The goddess next door takes on the threat of a deadly digital diva driven to destroy the world in this action-packed, all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess featuring a bonus pin-up and the other two books in the Cyber Goddess saga at online bookstores everywhere today. Last year, I picked up a digital bundle of Concrete Comics, and I was anticipating reading Odina out of the 4 titles that I received in that digital bundle. Now, the reason why I was anticipating reading Odina out of the 4 Concrete titles is because, as the creator of Black Heroines in my own SJS Direct imprint series, Isis and Eastine, I was eager to see how another company would approach a black heroine. And your Concrete Comics has really taken a big risk by launching a book with a black heroine, and they have done what other companies like Milestone have not gone out here and done. And I have to say that this 3rd issue of Odina practically blows the doors off the 2nd one and really has made me very happy, because this 3rd issue is absolutely fantastic. Now, I did have my issues with the 2nd issue of Odina, because that 2nd issue had some problems as related to expository sequences, pacing issues, and it had an issue with some page management. But this 3rd issue of Odina has no issues at all and is an absolutely fantastic, fast-paced issue. Now, this 3rd issue starts out strong from the gate with an incredibly dynamic cover. Now, this cover showcases your Odina throwing down with Lady Tai in what looks like to be an incredible epic battle. Now, this cover is just really pops, and it really is very compelling and tells a very compelling story featuring these 2 strong black heroines. And this 3rd issue's cover leads into a very powerful splash page, and this splash page really does a great job of opening up the book. Now, this 3rd issue splash page, it really pops. And I really like this whole sequence where we see Odina in her street clothes getting ready to throw down with Lady Tai. And your Lady Tai flying in looks very, very powerful and very dynamic. And I have to hand it to the people at Concrete. They really know how to design a great costume, because this costume, it just pops off the page and it really makes the character really dynamic. Now, I really like this opening because it really has that emotional impact, and you open strong with a splash page when you're having a hero in a confrontation, and this splash shows us that there's something going to go down, and it's going to be a big, intense battle. And that's what this whole splash page does. It sets up this 3rd issue and sets up a really intense battle. Now, your Odina is confronting your Lady Tai, who has this enchanted Egyptian axe that she's taken from the museum, and your Odina is ready to try to stop her from going any further with her plans. Now, I like this whole sequence and the way it opens up, and I also like the fact that we get a little box that shows us the powers of each character, and that is a great way to segue into an entry point for a new reader and give them an incentive to go back and pick up the next 2 issues. So this 1st page really does a great job of introducing the main characters, what they want, and why we should care, and also opens the door for new readers to come in and pick up the next issue. Now, this battle sequence really starts to pick up after this first intense splash page with your Odina getting ready to throw down with your Lady Tai, and we see in this whole sequence your Lady Tai is not going to be a pushover, and we see that she has some incredible strength with this 3rd page, that as she's kicking this Odina, that she's really, you feel her flying across the room from her superhuman strength. Now, out in the middle of this whole one hit, we see your Lady Tai. She's not only showcasing her power, she's showcasing her swagger and her confidence, and that's what a daughter of Isis would have, because your Lady Tai is the daughter of Isis. And as I was reading the sequence, it really reminded me so much of my own character, Isis. And this whole sequence also reminded me of the battle I had set up in my 2014 Isis series book, Isis Wrath of the Cyber Goddess. Now, in Isis Wrath of the Cyber Goddess, I show in Act 1 your Isis being confronted by the Cyber Goddess, and in that whole first act, at the end of it, there's an intense battle where your Isis was dressed in street clothes and she's confronted by the Cyber Goddess in her armor. And these 2 pages right here really these 3 pages actually remind me of that confrontation. And this is exactly the way I would go about setting up this battle if I ever adapted Isis Wrath of the Cyber Goddess into a comic. And I love the fact that we see that your Lady Tai is really showcasing her powers and showcasing how much of a credible threat she is. And that's something you really want to show with a bad guy, is you want to showcase how much of a threat they are, so that we can see that the hero has to have somebody to overcome, and they're going to be a major challenge. And that's something any good writer wants to do in the first act of their story. They want to go and showcase this hero going out here and having to deal with the threat of this villain. And we see this in the first 4 or 5 pages of this battle. So I really liked seeing this whole sequence between your Odina and your Lady Tai. And all of this builds into a bigger story. And I don't want to spoil that story for those who are Concrete Comics fans who watch the channel. And I don't want to spoil the work of all of those people who created this great Concrete comic, because they just got through doing their Kickstarter, and I don't want to spoil too much of the book for the people who have not received their 3rd issue of Odina number 3. But I'll say this is an absolute fantastic comic, and it's a big improvement over issue number 2. And I'm glad I gave this book a second chance, because this 3rd issue really pays off the first 2 issues and shows us how strong your Odina is. And it also shows us how much heart your Odina has, because your Odina doesn't give up in the face of an incredibly strong adversary like Lady Tai. And that is one of the things that makes her a great hero, is that heart that she has. And I really loved seeing her have that heart in this intense battle. Now, this 3rd issue of Odina is very well done and has me anticipating picking up the 4th issue. So I am not disappointed at all by this 3rd issue at all, and I'm glad I gave this book a second chance, because I'm starting to see things pick up as related to the story. I'm seeing things pick up as related to the character development, and I really saw some really strong and fast pacing. And this 3rd issue has me anticipating the 4th issue. So I have to say, Concrete Comics did a great job on this 3rd issue, and I'm eager to see what they'll do in a 4th issue with Odina. And I'm really glad to see a strong black heroine carrying her own book, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this series is going to go. Now, I heard, as I was reading the book, that this book is connected to Candake, and I'm eager to see how that relationship works and how that works with these heroes. And I really loved seeing the fusion of Egyptian and Nubian mythology with black history and black heroines. And everything that I wanted to do with the Isis series, I'm seeing here done with Odina, and I'm seeing it done very well. So I am very, very happy with this 3rd issue. And I have to say, this is a book I would definitely recommend out here for everybody to pick up, and I definitely would recommend you get this issue, because if you like big battle issues, this book is definitely not going to disappoint you. Now, if you want to pick up my first comic, Esteem No Good Deed, you can find it on Kindle for 99 cents. And if you want to check out my upcoming comic, John Haynes at Death's Door, it will be on Kickstarter soon. Now, in the meantime, if you want to check out the big battle between Isis and the Cyber Goddess, you can get all three of those books on Amazon.com right now. You can pick up Isis the Beauty Myth, Isis Wrath of the Cyber Goddess, and Isis Revenge of the Cyber Goddess in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find two of those books, The Beauty Myth and Wrath of the Cyber Goddess, on Smashwords, Barnes & Noble, and other online booksellers. And if you want to see me make more great comic review videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.